Good evening, everybody, and welcome. The YouTube stream is live. I've got Mac and Paul here with me, and Zibo is in the background. Hello, Zibo. Nice of you to join us. Mac and Paul, your voices are now live as well. So, yes, as Steve mentioned here on stream, it's a bit of a surprise. This was not planned, I promise you. Come home from holiday, and I'm in the thick of things, but I love it. So, anyway. It's late, but we're going to push through. Zibo has given me a long intro of what he wants to have done and so on, what we need to look at. So, Zibo, I'm going to obviously rely on you to nudge me from the side if I miss something. The basic requirement for this flight is that we want to descend and land at a destination that is currently at a temperature lower than 15 degrees Celsius. All right, so Bari was the first one I got. He approved the plan. So we're going to fly from Catania to Bari quickly, just to give it a bash and see. Then there are certain things he wants me to look at, and there are certain things he wants me to convey to you guys, because there's I don't know if you two guys saw in the dev room now, he made a quick note there of the descent winds. You know, in this sorry, now my English is leaving me. He's striving to make the mod obviously as real as possible, right? So in doing so, certain sim shortcuts basically bite the dust every now and then, you know, and where we could get away with not filling in the descent forecast winds, it wouldn't have been a big problem before. You know, now it's creeping to a point where you're gonna have, you know, to decide, do you really want to simulate proper, or you're just gonna, you know, use it as a game. And I'll talk you through it as we get there. I don't want to run things ahead of time. I do have one small little problem, and it's not really a problem, but it might be something that I'll have to attend to. Ever since we walk through the door, the cat has not left me alone. Okay, the cat is on my lap. She wants love. She wants to give love, and she's sitting here purring as I'm scratching her. And now I want to fly a Boeing 737-800. So, yeah. What do you do? She loves her daddy. Paul and I were talking just now before we went live. She's never been alone in her whole life. I think it was worse than we think it was. Anyway, so I'm gonna do my best to try and not throw her off my lap, but you know, gotta do what I gotta do. Okay, so first of all, let's get going without wasting any more time. This is the short flight, so I presume we've got about 50 minutes of flight time. It's not going to be far. Let's quickly generate the plan. I have not even checked this plan, whether it is actually feasible or if this is one of the plans that might have now changed with the new era. We're going to find out soon enough anyway. In fact, you know, before we continue, let's have a look. See. There's no aircraft. Let's do this proper. So this is LICC, I think. Please. LICC. What's this plan? How can I not remember? It's LICC. What am I typing? Why can I not find Catania in here? Okay, maybe I should just make a new flight first. See, I'm getting rusty. Gents, you're gonna have to kick me and prod me and you know, one of those things, Paul.
Okay, am I meant to be keeping an eye on you here?
Yeah, let me just share my screen here with you.
Because I was building up to asking you a question that I could find the answer for myself, so I thought I would do that. I was going to ask, Has patch 99 updated the EFB guide yet?
He said he did, but I'm not sure up to which level. Yes, he actually did make a note of it. There was movement in the last day or two from him, so I highly recommend you go and have a look, see what he did. Richard, if you're watching, drop us a note. He was away on a cruise, and that's why a couple of things didn't happen for a while, if I understand it correctly. All right, there seems to be no problem there. 6, 25. We'll go to the same place. That one is to runway 25. See what it does. RNAV, ILS, RNAV 20. I think RNAV is nice because we all know that RNAV is highly dependent on the baro setting. So that might not
Nico, in Discord, you're streaming the app and not the screen.
That's interesting. Let me just stop it. There's my Zibo. Have a look now, Mac.
Yeah, okay. But we couldn't see Navigraph.
No, you wouldn't see Navigraph. Sorry, that's only on YouTube. I don't have a way of screening it here unless I actually change the screen.
Fair enough.
Oh, this thing isn't clever. So anyway, we've got like a little teardrop in the departure. Big flight, this one. Right. Hey, Rob. Right, we've got the Zibo Mod, we've got all of that sorted. Let's go for those stuffs here. Yeah, man, we had a good holiday. We arrived back here local time at 6:30 this evening, and I thought I'd take it easy, and then things started happening on the Zibo side, what can you do? We're in it.
Be back with you in 2 or 3 minutes.
No problem. Yeah, I'm setting up. Exported that one. Let's quickly do the assembly downloader while we're export. Anyway, guys, Zibo is watching, by the way. The boss himself is watching, so I asked him to also nudge me from his side if he sees I do something wrong or wants me to tell you some extra stuff. But he's given me a whole list. We're going to walk through it during the stream. Right, okay. Current temperature at Bari is 9 degrees. Okay, so you guys probably saw in the release notes that we put out for you that there is now this baro temperature compensation. And that is a setting in the EFB. I just want to quickly see if I can spot it quickly. If you know exactly where it is, it would help me, but I know it's in here. I watched it a couple of times. But there we go. No, it's not that. Where was it? There we go. There we go. Under auto flight, VNAV baro temp compensation. Okay, so for this to work proper, I just want to make sure I didn't change anything now. For this to work proper, you will see the difference come into play when you have a destination that has a current temperature of 15 degrees Celsius or less. Okay, so we're going to do, according to what I understand, Zibo explained to me, is we're going to do the normal setup quickly, as we would have done it like a day or two ago, and then afterwards we're going to do the compensation, and then we're going to look at the differences in altitudes because of the way it works. So basically, just want to get his notes out quickly. He says here, just want to get the correct sentence. Right, he says that if you do not use the calculation either manually or automatically in U14 that's now incorporated here, you need to calculate it manually to be higher than you think, because otherwise you're going to be too low. And that has now been brought into the Zibo mod. Right, so it's just getting so much more real. Yeah, it's just amazing. What else can we do quickly? It's this thing. I see there's an update for a little nav map. I'm not going to do that right now. Just going to quickly draw my plan here. And I say it feels nice to be back in the cockpit after a week away. Only problem is now, because I'm a bit rusty, might feel the need to laugh with me. So we'll see how it goes. Right, that's done. Right. Load.
I was going to ask, what was the withdrawal like? Was it a bit odd being on holiday? Because you won't have done that for a while either.
I haven't been on holiday in 5 years, and I tell you what,
fish out of water.
Absolutely. I was sitting there next to the sea, phone in hand. You know, you check the people a little bit, you check the waves a little bit, you check the phone, and then, rinse and repeat. It's funny. That's crazy.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
How are you, Dimitri?
It's good to see you back on the grind here, Nico.
Tell you. And Zibo's watching. I need to be extra careful now. 7. Right, so while that's all happening, let's get going. This, the basics are done. Zero is what was chosen for us. Let's see.
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Arrival. 5. Really don't want to rush this. Right, another thing I'll do is we'll do a cutback. Just make sure that we're nice and slow and do the turn proper. It's thing over there. Right, so one of the things, I'm not sure if we're going to see it on the ground yet. Zibo, can I do it on the ground already? Can I have a look at the different altitudes and things? That's up again. Okay. It's not. Okay, maybe we're gonna have to look there because those are just above ones. This will probably. Let's just quickly see if we can spot that. Oh, we have to work out, calculate all the rest first. Let's finish all this.
I saw one of those new equal signs in your legs page there, Nico.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to that, Paul, to be honest. I want to quickly calculate the performance stuffs. Then we'll go back and look at some of those values, and we might change some of those above values just to get actual values, and then we can actually do the compensation and see how they changed. So
Yep.
yeah. Is that correct? This then reserves. So anyways, let's have a look, see. Okay, let's get off the ground and we'll
Ready for pre-flight procedure.
So, commands.
Trim up.
Okay, let's go back to the legs page. So at the legs page, we've got all these aboves. Then we should see a top of descent somewhere. Fine. Show there, should it not?
Are you a bit zoomed in to spot the top of descent, Nico?
I would have thought I would see the actual green. There's top of descent. There it is.
Just snuck on. Okay.
Yes, just there. Actually, zoom in. I should see more. Top of descent there. So from vegan down. All right, so we've got, let's do this. Let's take a screenshot. Hello, Sim737. Let's do this. Make sure that we've taken that screenshot. Yes. Okay, so now we have 4,000 and above. I presume that's the Bari VOR. Let's go have a look. Where's my charts?
Is that the initial fix?
Nope, no, that should be. That is the actual. So yeah, not that one. There we go. That is the actual VOR. So what happens is we're gonna come from the star, hit the VOR, and then we're gonna go into the actual RNAV. See the RNAV path over there. So that is obviously the beginning of our RNAV approach.
Yep. Okay.
A full. Just see that screenshot of mine again. Sure. Okay, so we've got that. Now, okay, so we've got 287, 25, 16.3, and flight level 092, and then we hit that side of things. So this is our descent, okay? And according to the theory now, with the compensation, it should bring us a little bit higher so that we don't fly into the ground. Okay, so let me read further. Right. One limit. Okay, so no, I'm not in the right place. We want to be in the. So in the list.
You're looking for the new page.
Yeah. I had it here in front of me just now. It's in the second page of the approach reference page. All right. Okay. So there's the approach, and then second page. LIBD temperature. You see. Now we have to put in the temperature. And according to active sky, temperature is 0.9. Cold. Right. Start waypoint is at bar. Okay. Doesn't look as if I need to execute anything. So let's go back to the next page. And let us do this now.
Can I see the page after that, please? Sorry to bother you.
Yeah. Give me a second. Not bothering, but I need to now try and keep track of where I am. Are you meaning the approach page?
No, legs page, please.
Next page. All right. Okay, you're looking at the next page. You want to see the next page.
Yes, please.
Here you go.
Right, they're already adjusted then.
Already adjusted. Correct. And I want to show that to the guys on stream quickly. Even, I was going to hide that page. Let me just go back. I didn't take a screenshot of the next page. You know that. I suppose we can go take out the compensation and come back and have a look again. But have a look here. Let me just share my screen. So this is the screenshot I took. All right. There's one that was changed over there. There's another one. You see, 28.8 and 0.93. It's like it added 100 feet, 100 foot to those ones, right? So let's do this. Let's just go check if we can this thing out.
I'm not certain that that is how it should be, Nico.
That's exactly what he told me it should be.
What, even above the star? I thought it only started to apply at the beginning of the star.
It's about the whole VNAV descent. So what
Oh.
we're gonna do now is let me take another picture, right? So there. So now we have 4,000. You see, there's no equal signs. You see, there's no compensation, if that's what it means. Basically, there's just the normal aboves. Okay, see that?
Yeah.
Can I just ask for page? Can I ask for page 3 of 5, please?
Yes, there you go.
I could have sworn bar had an equal sign the first time you went through it, but perhaps I was seeing things. Sorry, carry on.
No worries, no worries. Okay, so you are correct. It had. Look. Okay, well, the guys on stream can see it. It had an equal sign the first time. You're correct. It did have Paul.
That's what was puzzling me, because you hadn't yet done anything.
Yes. So now we're going to go back and we're going to add that thing. 9 degrees in there. Go back to the legs page. So that one changed, that one changed, that one stayed the same. Bar does not have an equal sign at this point in time. Okay, let's go to the next page so we can actually look at the next page. And there you go. So now you can see marginal, but still it added. Look, it added the extra 43 foot for us. Compensate. Right. Sorry, Paul, if you want to see both of them on the same screen, you're going to have to look at...
I'm flicking between them, don't worry.
Okay. So there you can see it's been compensated by 43 foot because of the temperature difference.
So it's only the ones with the equal sign that are temperature compensated, is it?
Well, Mac, I would think so. But what is interesting is I did notice that once the temperature is put in, there's one that 28.8 and the 093. That went up by 100 foot and that went up by 100 foot. These two stayed the same. So I presume it's got something to do with VNAV, something in the VNAV calculation, to give us the 43 foot difference at the end. It added something in the beginning as well.
Is bar the start of the star or the
it's the
arrival?
end of the star. It's
right.
End of the star.
Okay,
yes.
Temperature compensation only applies from the beginning of a star.
All right, okay. You said that earlier. That's not how I understood it, but fair enough. I mean, we had to learn. So, I noticed a difference. I've got it now on the record. But anyway, if this is what it is, then there you go. It's definitely done it. Done it. I mean, you can clearly...
that was my understanding from reading a document that Paul showed me, an FAA one yesterday.
No problem. No, that's fine. That's fine. So,
it seems to me, Nico, just to butt in, if it's bumped up the altitudes at those restrictions near the airfield, it's going to push the altitudes higher, further back in the flight. As if you put them in manually,
yes, Exactly.
So it's behaving normally in that sense, I think.
Yeah.
It's not that being corrected, it's just adapting to the higher altitudes closer to the airfield.
Exactly what I was on about. So anyway, perfect. I'm happy with that, and we can clearly see it's working. So let me just see what else Zibo wanted me to talk about here.
Zibo, are we interpreting it wrong, or does it apply before the star as well, or not?
My guess is it starts at the initial approach fix.
Yeah. That FAA document said It's to do with the surrounding
Well,
altitude clearances as
think,
well.
correct. Think about a year ago. It might be 2 years ago. Sasso actually took us to Vancouver, and he actually talked us through this manually. And he actually gave us the formulas and things, and I actually incorporated this in my training checklist. There is actually a section
Right.
about this because
Wow.
Sasso took us there and he talked us through this, how they would do it in the real world. Me and Zibo had a chat about Sasso earlier as well.
Mm.
Exactly this. Let me see if I can quickly find it. Let me see. PDFs.
Or perhaps this ought to be post your flight. See if it works. Get it airborne.
Yeah, we will now. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Page 29.
The table.
Okay.
This is like a table that he gave
That's
us
it. Yes.
to do the temperature compensation. So basically, instead of now having to do the mental arithmetic, we can literally go into our approach page next, second page there. We enter in there and it will do the compensation for us. All right. Now there's something else. You can fill the reference AAL altitude in Alt. See. So you can change the altitude and then it will give you the temperature compensated altitude. So let's just try that. Let's go to this airport. Airport elevation is 193. There, and it gives you, there it tells you, the compensated is 197 because of the
Wow.
temperature. Thank you, Zibo. He briefed me really well. Zibo, but you're quiet. Are you there? Oh yeah, he's talking. He's typing. This feels like Christmas.
There's a lot been going on, yeah.
Yes, I tell you. I'm sitting there on the beach and all I see is all these new updates coming through and I can't do anything. Oh.
There's something tells me Zibo has had access to some documentation and he's going through and his eyes sparkle when he noticed certain new pages have appeared.
Can I show you something else that I noticed? I don't know if I'm just slow and if I just missed it. Look at that. Do you see what it says there?
Yeah.
There's an option.
Yeah.
Which means that might be close as well now.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Can you click yes yet or not?
No, it's still dead. He's been busy.
I bet Zibo's grinning. He says, can you go on holiday next week? Got another 5 updates to release.
Yes, Zibo, we can see it's disabled, but we are sitting here in anticipation, waiting for you to switch it on for us. I've got a big smiley face here.
I'm wondering whether to make a fool of myself on YouTube here.
No, there's no such thing as a fool. I tell you what, this is so new to all of us, okay? And, I mean, Zibo is light years ahead of us, couple of guys here now. We're going to have to play catch up. It's not about making a fool. If you look at any other simulation out there, I want to tell you something. It's the real pilots that are going to know what you are trying to ask now. So you go for it.
I get the impression that the altitude that you enter on that page is the altitude above the airport elevation, and that gives you the amount to correct by. Well,
So
the correction at the actual airfield should be 0. By the time you've got your plane just about to touch down, there's nothing to correct. You've got no more atmosphere to correct for.
I think I've got an idea of what you're saying, but then again, that airport is at 193. So this is like a density altitude kind of a thing. The aircraft will feel as if it is at 197 when it is at 193. What I'm thinking.
Yes. And the reason I'm thinking this, Paul, is if you think about it, what is standard temperature?
That's a separate issue. It's a separate issue.
Right. But that's the sea level.
Yeah, and that's what you're...
Right. And the temperature in this case is 6 degrees colder than standard atmospheric pressure.
I'm in thunderous agreement with that, Mac, but I think that's your ISA deviation, and this is a separate matter.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Okay, look, Paul.
Let's leave it for now.
Yeah, you're neither right nor wrong, because I think you're on the right track of investigative journalism. Yeah, we'll find out. Okay, we'll find out. We'll find out, because this is new. I mean, there is no other simulation that I know of that does this. You understand? Hello, Gerald. Good evening. I'm doing well. Sorry, man. We're just deep in discussion here. And shoot your question. We'll answer it when we're ready. Alt in temperature. Listen to this. Alt in temperature compensation reference page is AAL. Altitude above aerodrome.
Okay.
If that makes sense to you.
That's what I've just claimed, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
So in this case, okay, we'll put 0 in there then, Nico.
And it'll come out 0, won't it?
Well, will it?
Well, 0 times 0 is, or anything times 0 is 0.
We'll put 0 in there and see what happens.
I did.
Okay.
So the closer you get to ground level, the less the difference is going to be.
It tapers off to nothing. Yeah, tapers
exactly.
off to nothing.
Okay.
So if you put 4,000 in for the altitude at bar or whatever it was meant to be, well, it'd be the altitude less the airfield altitude, and that should be what the correction is.
Okay, now Zibo has asked me to do something else. I just want to see if I can actually see this. All right?
It's an unrelated question, but can we deal with that, Gerald, at the end of this stream? It's a different matter completely at the moment.
100%. Okay. Zibo, I'm not going to claim that I know how to read this thing just out of, quick recollection. I'm going to have to read it. I'll get back to you on that question. He wants us to compare it to the table that Sasso gave. Okay. The problem that I have is I haven't used this table in a long time, so I'm going to probably read it incorrectly. I need to go and sit and think about this quickly.
Yeah.
Because from what I can see here, this table only starts at 0 and going down. We are not at 0, we're at 9 degrees. Okay, so on the table, for an altitude of 1,000, it's suggesting a compensation of 60, but that's when it's 0 degrees. Okay, so let's just put 0. There you go. It's exactly the same. Look, it's exactly the same. Okay, Zibo, I'm not that dumb. I just realized I'm just slow. So let's quickly show you guys. So, oh my goodness, let me just try and get this thing to look kind of proper. Right. Give me a second, gents. Where do I move this thing to the right? Oh, there's the slider. Okay. So let's see. Adobe. There's Adobe. Okay. Not sure if you guys can read that. Let's make it bigger. Okay. Let's zoom in a bit. So Zibo said we must, look to compare it, right? So what I did was I made it 0 because we've got 0 degrees over there. It starts from 0 going down, okay? Then we entered 1000, which is over there. And look there, the compensation is 60. So Zibo's calculation is spot on. So if we make it minus 10, okay, so at minus 10, it's 100. Look. Zibo! He did it. Oop. You see, Zibo, it's working. Perfect. Exactly correct. Make it minus 40 for the hell of it. That is minus 40 at 1000. Okay, they've got 240 and he's got 220. There's a discrepancy over there. I don't think we're going to land at the minus 40.
Minus 40, 1,000 is 240, yeah.
Yeah, look, the minus 20 is still correct. Let's go for minus 30.
Minus 20, 140, yeah.
Yeah, there at minus 30, 40, and 50, there's a discrepancy. So up to minus 20, Zibo, your calculations matches this table. So I'm not sure where Sasso got the table. We might want to read up on that. But, I mean, I take it for granted that you did this from the manual anyway. So
right. I've just sent you a link, Nico, which Paul sent me. And this is the FAA document. Okay. And the temperature error table is exactly the same, but it includes plus 10%, 10 degrees as well.
Okay. So that might be the difference. Let me tell you what Zibo says here. Zibo says he does not use a table, okay, because it's probably because they do add a little margin of error. He actually does a calculation to get you the correct temperature. Okay. Jarrell, this is my Zibo checklist, my training checklist, and it's on page 29. This Zibo training checklist of mine is in my Google Drive. It is also on the forum. If you go to the Zibo forum, do the training checklist and just open the Google Drive. It's all in there. Go look below this video. Click on show more and then find my private hangar. It's going to be in the Zibo section in my private hangar. I think that's the easiest way to get it.
Yeah.
And it should be in all good bookshops too.
Yeah. Well, the bookshops might charge you for the storage space, pay £5 and you get it. But anyway, yeah, this is it. Thank you, Zibo. This is awesome. Let me see. I don't think there's anything else we needed to show the guys. We don't actually have to fly this flight. You know that? We don't have to fly this flight. I'm getting really tired. I don't think I want to fly it anymore. We've already showed what we wanted to show and we've proven what we wanted to prove, Let's quickly go to the next page. We're at minus 50 now, right? So let's go to the next page. Let's see what it does now. Oh yeah, now it's added quite a bit. Look. It's added quite a bit. See?
1,000 minus 50 at 1,000 is 300.
Yeah, so remember this is now a calculated value. So it's basically added 471 for us. Because that I think was at 1000.
Ooh, and they're all originally they were all different
Yes.
altitudes.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be adding the same amount to each one. It should be adding more as the altitude goes up. I think that the taper effect that we were speaking about earlier.
It could be, but
because you're talking about height above the airfield, not height.
Mhm.
So yes, I agree with Paul there. It's not a standard deviation for each step, because the difference between airfield height and that altitude is greater.
Okay, but this is not a definite height. It's not saying you have to be at 4471 and 3971. It says or above. Look at the end.
Yeah,
It says
but-
above. Okay, so it makes provision for a clearance and above. And I presume the aircraft, when it does its calculations, will put different values or altitudes at the different areas. But Zibo can answer that one.
Yeah, I agree with your comment, Paul.
Yeah, makes sense.
The difference shouldn't be add 71 to each value.
Well, let's go back. Let's look at a sensibler value. Let's go make it 0. Thanks. It's the same value at each point. Okay, so let's do the following. Getting approach next. Well, this is the generic one. Okay, there's one more thing I needed to tell you guys. There's one more thing. Damn it, I almost forgot. So in the beginning, I mentioned this just quickly. Gentlemen, in the old days, we started at one point and we said to you that when you go, let me just take this other thing off the screen. When you go to your VNAV forecast page, okay, your descent forecast page, we told you in the beginning it wasn't necessary to add the winds, and then at one point in time we said to you now it is actually very important. You have to add the QNH. Okay, then a little while later we said to you now it's time to start adding the winds. Okay, and Zibo even went so far, if you actually manipulate the XML file that you get from SimBrief, you can actually uplink the information, because all of these things have an influence on your VNAV path. Okay, and if you don't have the correct QNH, and if you don't have the correct winds, it's going to change your path. It's going to also change your elevation at the airport when you try and land, especially when you are doing an RNAV approach. Any RNAV approach is, you need to have the correct QNH. Okay, otherwise it's a mess. Okay, now what's going to happen now from 5.2, from Zibo Mod experimental version 5.2, you need to add the winds. Otherwise, what's going to happen, I'm going to read to you what Zibo says. If you do not fill the descent forecast winds for the descent. Hang on. Okay, cool. I'll get to that just now. Thanks, Zibo. So what's going to happen is if you do not fill in all the information, right, VNAV will use the current cruise wind interpolated to 0 knots for the descent idle path. Okay, so for those of you guys that are just flight simmers, don't worry about it. For those of you that are simulating to the next level or more realism and stuff like that, this is where this thing comes into. Now you're going to have to put in all the information. Okay, it's now becoming more important. Then what Zibo just said is VNAV uses the forecast ISA deviation 2. Okay, so that ISA deviation, I've never used that. So
and that's for the arrival airport as well, isn't it? So
yes, yeah, this is both for the arrival airport. Yes, he says he knows that more of the airlines only fill in the forecast winds and the QNH. But he says that if you want to take it now one step further in my terms, my English, then you can add the ISA temperature at your destination airport, and it will then take that into account when building the VNAV descent path. So all of a sudden, this is now more real.
So that, in theory, then, Nico, if you were using that 9 degrees Celsius at 193, presumably that's about minus 5 or 6 degrees, is it? ESADEF, Paul?
well, if you know the temperature at your arrival airport and you know its elevation, you correct the actual temperature to what it would be at sea level. So if your arrival airport's at 1,000 feet, then it's 2 degrees per 1,000 foot. So in theory, it would be 2 degrees warmer at sea level. So if it happened to be, let's say, 13 degrees at the airport at 1,000 feet, corrected to sea level, that would be 15, and your ISA deviation between that temperature and 15 degrees would be 0 in this case.
Yes. But
does that make sense?
Yes, but because we're talking about 193, so I rounded up to 200.
193, what's that?
That's the airport elevation.
When he was putting the temperature in.
That's the departure airport, though, yeah?
No. The 193 is the arrival airport.
Is it? Sorry.
Okay. Yes.
Well, a couple of 100 feet, you'd just take it as being near enough sea level not to bother. And if your temperature was 13 degrees, the deviation there would be -2.
Exactly, that's what I said. And he said he was using 9 degrees, so I said 5-6 degrees deviation minus.
A couple of 100 feet, you wouldn't bother tweaking it.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know where the rest of society gets the ISA deviation from, but I used to get mine from STKP. That was one of the features I asked Dan to build in for us a long time ago. All right.
You can get it from SimBrief as well.
Is it on the OFP, or where do we get it?
Yes, on the FP. Because like when your wind's in the air and everything, you've got the temperature, and that's the ESA deviation.
Where do we find that, Mac?
The OFP.
Yeah, where?
It's the column after the winds.
Column after winds, where it says descent.
I haven't got an OFP open. Hang on. But look. See if I've got one. No. OFP. Right. It doesn't give the deviation at the landing airfield. It only gives it at the last waypoint before the airfield, for example.
Yeah, I can see that.
That should be close enough.
I'm just looking to see if it's anywhere else on the data.
Okay, let me go one step further. Gerald, just to answer your question, no, I'm not the creator. Zibo, he's actually sitting here watching the stream with us. He's the boss. He creates the Zibo mod. And so I'm just one of the guys you always see. I'm the front face of of this wonderful project at this time with all my streams and stuff, you know, and a couple of other things we do, but call me one of the testers if you want. But like I said, Zibo he's sitting here with us watching, so that's why he's talking to me the whole time, and I get the feedback from him. Right, okay. There. Let's see if there's just a quick way, something easy for people to find it, man.
I'm just looking. I can't see it on the OFB at the moment.
Otherwise, what we'll have to do is we'll have to take the formula and just put it into the training checklist, you know, and then just train people where to go find it. Some 737 pilot, he says that United's published FM states that the currently hardware limitations. Oh, yeah. No, they'll have to upgrade the hardware then. They can't install U14. Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of guys that, you know, will have to do some upgrades now.
I believe somebody said that not all Lion Air ones as yet can be updated. Most of them can.
Yeah. I just want to quickly start my sim toolkit, bro. Just see if that feature is still here. Otherwise, I'm going to have to ask Dan to put it back, because we had it in when STKP, like when was this, 5 years ago? We were all working together on this thing.
Yeah.
Yes, Zibo, yes, we are aware. Some of them apparently cannot. So I think everybody will start to move over, but there will be a few that will need some updates of some sort in their hardware. Okay, let's quickly see. Weather. Ever since Dan changed the format of the way he displays the weather, I think he's taken it out. So anyway, according to what Zibo said, is you're going to still get away without putting the ISA. You can still get away without that. It is going to have an influence, okay, but not everybody is capable of calculating it yet. I think we need to find that formula that you were talking about, Paul, and put that in the training checklist, and then when we do more streams, we'll reiterate it and we'll point the guys to the right place where they can actually get that information. You know?
Be interesting to ask Sasso the question where they would. Is there somewhere within the aircraft that you get it without having to calculate it?
Yeah, or whether they get it through their ACARS quickly, you know, get an update on ACARS. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, because this thing doesn't show it anymore. ATIS and METAR. Let's just see. No, it's not there. No. I'll have to ask Dan to either put it back or tell me where he's hidden it, because that's the only way we're going to find it now. Reliable detail, slope, elevation, length, arrival. He still got my slope in here, but he doesn't have the rest. No. Let's see. I got it. Let me put STKP on here. He's still in STKP, but you got to go find it. You just connect here. Okay. So, what I did was I went through all of these tabs. You see there it's supposed to give, you know, like weather details and stuff. Then what I did was I went to the airport charts and then to flight summary there at the top. There you can see. There it gives you the ISA deviation. All right, so we'll have to compare notes, Paul.
Okay. What's the current temperature there, Nico?
The current temperature is now 9 degrees Celsius.
That's about right then. It's about 5 less than 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I still think we need to just put a little calculation into the training checklist and we can point people to that. So there it is, because then they can just quickly work it out themselves as well. Because I don't think not everybody has got STKP.
Right, Nico, I'm going to set you a task. Can you, you were putting your temperature deviation in, forecast temperature deviation. If you set that ease of deviation to 6 and set the QNH, does it compensate the landing altitude?
Negative. I think
Good.
the whole compensation is about that page 2 on the arrivals page. Approach page.
So if you put 9 in there again on the temperature deviation page. Yeah.
There's
Okay.
9.
Right. Then.
Okay, but this is now interesting because the 9 is in, but there's no compensation. That might be a little code problem. Zibo, are you seeing this? Mac, you've gone and broken this thing again, man.
He's got a knack of that.
Killed it completely. Steve, yeah, sorry, no, you have to, it's not just in the arrival weather, you have to go to the flight summary and the old version of the flight summary. And the only way I can find to get there is to, go through the charts and then back. Hello, Neil. Yes, sir. Another update. So, hold on. No, I don't understand, Ziba. I have no idea what you're trying to tell me now. Let me go back there. Which page? Are we talking the approach page 2? Or which page are we talking now? He says here it's a small font. You need to fill reported temperature manually, big font. You got me? I'm absolutely nowhere close to understanding that. Which page? Zibo, let's start with which page are you referring to? Are we talking this temperature compensation page, or are we talking forecast page? Yeah, well, we have to wait. Maybe he's going to make coffee. Because I didn't understand what that means. I'm just back and I'm already in the thick of things again. How the hell do we get rid of that 18 now? I thought it was as easy as just pressing delete. Zibo's typing. Help. Yeah. I can see it's a bug. How do we delete the QNH? I'm pressing delete and I can't get it to move, Zibo. It's not going anywhere. I don't know how to get rid of it.
Right, go and remove the temperature deviation, Nico. Try that.
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Right. So now go back to the... and see if you can now remove that. No. No. There is bug.
Yeah, no, there's definitely a bug. He says he can see there's a bug.
Yeah.
We don't have to tell him things like that. Okay, this was more beneficial to you.
Methinks 5.3 might be coming out before Zibo goes to bed tonight.
Well, Zibo, if you bring out 5.3 tonight, I'll distribute it tomorrow morning, gentlemen, and you'll have it from my side. But, you know, good luck with that. I'm dead tired here. I'm half asleep. Already almost midnight. Yeah, no, there's definitely a little bit of a bug there. Okay, but okay, to make it the long story short, okay, is the time is coming where these things are now going to work together for the greater good, and it's up to the user to decide whether he's a simmer or whether he wants to take it to the next level. Okay, I don't think the aircraft is going to fall out the sky or create a problem for you if you don't fill in all the blanks. All right. There's a basic principle that you need to understand when it comes to Boeing as well. We all know it. When you have a dashed line, it's a nice to have. When you have a block, it is mandatory. Okay, so in this case, you can see all of these things are there to assist you. It's a nice to have. It's not mandatory. But what we're saying is time is coming where these things are going to work nicely together, and it's going to be, I beg your pardon, I want to yawn. It's going to be cool if you can fill in all the blanks, because that will just assist with creating that path and putting you down easier.
We'll need a half-hour leg at cruise, Nico, to set up everything for the descent and landing.
Yeah. Well, in the real aircraft, there are two pilots, you know, and they
exactly.
each have their own responsibility.
Yeah.
You know, when Zibo gets so quiet like this, I promise he's busy recoding. He's sitting there in
I
the background.
know.
And he's typing. Wait, I'm going to fix it now. He's typing now. He's probably going to tell us he's uploading 5.3 now. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's try that. He says I must try it from this side. There you go. There you go. Okay, so it's a little bug on the captain's side. Woo!
Brilliant. Definitely 5.3 is going to be coming out before tonight, Nico.
Yes, Zibo, exactly. You're correct. Zibo, we have a public holiday here in South Africa. The whole of tomorrow, I'm available if you need me to test and stream and whatever. So you just let me know. Well, Neil, I don't know if you have noticed, we have actually released more updates tonight as well. Okay, and it's been fun, man. I did all the torrents this evening, and I uploaded explain dash to, what's it, x-plane.to. I've been busy, man. I walked in here at 6:30 this evening, and I've not done anything else except Ziboing the whole night. It's midnight. Actually glad we didn't get to fly it. I'm not sure I would be able to land this aircraft in the state I'm in. I'm not supposed to operate heavy machinery.
I like it.
Anyway, Mac and Paul, just want to say thank you for joining me and Zibo, yeah, and everybody else that's watching. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us. It's been wild,
Pleasure.
man. Yeah.
Right. Can you scroll back a couple of questions before you go off air that Jarrell posted?
Yeah.
Right. I'll ask the questions and you can answer them. Is CPDLC available on the 737?
Not on the Zibo Mod, no.
Not yet. Exactly. And the other question, I saw that on the PMDG, the aircraft put retard before top of descent, and on the Zibo mod, it does it when touching the top of descent. Is it something normal? If yes, why is there a difference?
The only difference between the Zibo Mod and the PMDG version of the NG is the generation of the aircraft. It could be that during the 2008 period when that aircraft was in service, that's the way they did it. That's why they modeled it that way. I have not seen or heard anything from Zibo that our one is wrong, and Sasso has not mentioned anything, or neither has any of the other pilots on our side, the guys flying the newer generation aircraft. So it could just be a generational thing.
Right. Adding one thing that Sasso did say to us when he was streaming in our Discord. In many cases, there isn't a great difference between the cruise speed and the descent set speeds. So if they're roughly the same, then there's going to be no retard before top of descent.
Yeah, there's no point in having a retard. If there's a big difference, then that's the difference.
Am I right in saying that, Paul? Can you remember?
Not exactly. I know
well,
that there was a recent fix in the Zibo, so it throttled back just before top of descent, which seems to be the correct way of things. Whether it should enunciate retard or not, I've got no idea.
There's no enunciation as such, no. But if you're cruising at 0.78 and your descent speed is 0.74, you would expect it to slow down before it went
and tell you that it's going to do it,
Well, just throttle back and top of descent, point comes and down it goes.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for me then. Zibo, do you need something else? Or may I retire for the evening and then we start again tomorrow morning? Ooh, our electricity just came back on. Yeah, this light is all of a sudden very sharp in my eyes.
That question about CPDLC.
Yes.
In Explain 11, it was kind of working in that ATC could give you a nudge if they had a message for you. I think, didn't?
No,
Didn't
that's not
Zibo?
CPDLC. No, what you are thinking about is cell call. The cell call
You're right.
radio.
Yep. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Thanks.
This is the cell call radio over here. This is the nudge they give you. No, CPDLC is built into the iVeo and BATSM clients. You can get your CPDLC that way. There's been a bit of a tug of war when it comes to CPDLC, and we haven't spoken about it in a long time, so I don't know what happened. You're welcome, Zibo. Thank you for joining. It was awesome having you here with us, and thank you for all your hard work. And we'll continue on our side as you produce it. Thank you so much. So yeah,
Very exciting times.
yeah, absolutely. But I think I'm going to go sleep now.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you to everybody that was watching. We will continue very soon again. Hello, HD. Now you come when we say goodbye, man. Ay, ay, ay. Anyway, thanks for popping in. Appreciate that. Okay, that's it. Bye, guys.
Not at all. Thank you, Nico.